Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, KGRA proudly brings to you its Pop Culture Minefield's Dork Side of the Ring! The Dork Knight, Danny Ballard, the Atmosphere, Joe Rivers, the Dork Side of the Ring! And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you. Suck it! Good morning, everyone. I am Danny the Dork Knight, your host for the Dork Side of the Ring. Before we get started today, we're going to have a great show. We are going to be talking about the fallout from the Royal Rumble and other happenings from wrestling this week. But my co-host Joe can't make it today. But because of the sad news of Lanny Poffo's passing, he did send us in a special State of the Apron video. So before we bring on the panel, I am going to let Joe virtually take the show from here, and as we remember the late great Lanny Poffo.
How you doing this fine Sunday afternoon? This is Joe's Atmosphere with State of the Apron, the segment of the show where we talk about all the smaller promotions that are out there. There's a whole lot more wrestling than just AEW and WWE. And we give you the lowdown on everything that goes on the outside of the big two. Of course, the hardest thing about the ring is the apron, and the hardest thing about wrestling is trying to get to the big dance, trying to get to one of the big two. So we'll let you know what's going on in the smaller part of the wrestling world. Speaking of the wrestling world, it was saddened this week with the loss of Lanny Poffo, brother of Randy Poffo, better known as the Macho Man Randy Savage. Lanny Poffo, a popular professional wrestler whose career spanned from the 1970s through 2010s, died at the age of 68 this week. The news was announced by his friend Hacksaw Jim Duggan on Instagram, who said, with a very, very heavy heart, cause of death is unknown at this time. WWE put out a statement saying arriving in WWE in 1985 alongside his brother, Leaping Lanny Poffo was one of the first high flyers in WWE. While he achieved some success as a fan favorite reading his own poetry and throwing frisbees to the crowd, he reached new heights as the genius while managing Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig. WWE extends its condolences to Poffo's family, friends, and fans. I found it interesting when I was reading up on him because, we knew he was a funny guy and that he could come up with a rhyme pretty quickly. But I had no clue that he had actually wrestled in a tag team with his father, Angelo Poffo, in NWA. And they won the tag championships there a long time ago. And he also wrestled with his brother in a tag team in ICW at one point. And he inducted Randy in the Hall of Fame in 2015. Couple more quotes from some of his friends in the wrestling world. This one from the Iron Sheik. Lanny Poffo, my brother, I love you forever. Give Nikolai Volkov, Randy, and Miss Elizabeth a hug for me. And this one was from Tommy Dreamer. I always enjoyed his work in the ring and that he had a poem for all of us. The wrestling world is definitely a lot lesser without Lanny Poffo. He will be missed. Now, let's get on to some news about the smaller promotions in wrestling. I decided to call this Where Are They Now this week because, my gosh, doing my homework this week, I was seeing people from AEW and WWE sprinkled all over the smaller promotions this week. It was crazy. Let's start with Impact Wrestling. First of all, I got to tell you, Impact, it's not as bad as it has been in the past, but it's still got some of those jerks that you just can't stand. Like Sammy Callahan, that guy, I just wish he would go away. But yeah, he's being put through his paces by the design. Decker Angels and Khan. Now, Khan, you'll recognize as Connor from Victor and Connor. I can't even remember the name of that tag team, but he was in WWE for a cup of coffee there. And also in this promotion from WWE is Mickey James and Bully Ray, which was Bubba Ray Dudley in WWE. It's a decent show, but I don't know what it is with them and guys wrestling girls. Friggin' Bully Ray body slammed friggin' Mickey James in this past episode. And boy, I tell you what, if you're a Taya Valkyrie fan, she is in 3 of the promotions that I watched this week. I mean, she was in NWA, Impact, and Major League Wrestling. So you're definitely going to see. How you doing this fine Sunday afternoon?
I think we got a incomplete file
Oh no! Wah, wah.
because it stopped, and when I hit play again, it started all over. So,
Well, that is a bummer. Well, technical difficulties. We are a news show. Thanks for popping in to save the day. Let's go ahead and I guess bring the guys on. We got Johnny Rock. How you doing, Johnny?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm a little bummed about the little snafu, but things happen.
It's just Dark Side of the Apron is cursed and forever will be.
It is, right? First it keeps getting bumped, and then we ran out of time, and now this file's incomplete. I feel bad because Joe put some work into it, so maybe we'll fix it, and we'll finish the Where Are They Now segment. But at least we got the Lanny Poffo stuff in.
Yeah. Some sad news. I don't know if Joe was able to cover it in the lost part of the segment, but your boy Hammer is no longer the FSW.
I'm pretty sure
champion.
he was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was covering this. Thank you, son.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it later, but my boy brought me my fuel up.
Oh,
proud sponsor of the show, but we'll get into that later.
Money, please.
Well, we'll before we get into this week, I want to introduce our special guest today, Ryan. Ryan, before I have you tell the people a little bit about yourself, made my day this last week. I can't remember the exact day because they're all running together. I'm so busy. But for the first time ever, I got this notification that said another YouTube channel had tagged my channel, and I was like, "What?" And I go look, and it was this gentleman here did a very complimentary video about yours truly, and I was really I was touched. So I reached out to him, and it turns out he's a wrestling fan as well. So without any further ado, Ryan, please tell the people about yourself, where they can find you, your channel, and a little bit of your wrestling bona fides, if you will.
Sure. First of all, you guys have bloopers too. Yay!
Yay! Yes, we do.
My name is Ryan Roger Athay. I have a channel that bears my name because I wasn't creative enough to come up with my own creator name. I'm based in the South Wales Valleys within the United Kingdom. I have my own channel that gives my thoughts on various topics and people. We talk about rising stars, such as this fine gentleman here, as well as the wider Pop Culture Minefield community. Great hub of content creation. And in regards to my knowledge for professional wrestling, I've enjoyed professional wrestling since I was a boy, but I was born in 1999. So the wrestling I grew up with was VHS tapes and DVDs.
Oh my God, I'm old enough to be your
90s.
father. My
Hmm?
son was born in 98. I can't believe that.
Hmm?
Oh, I feel so old now. Thanks. Didn't mean to interrupt you. Also, guys, I did put in the chat, the YouTube chat, the link to the very complimentary video, Rising Stars number 333 with bloopers. After the show, check it out. Give the man some love. Subscribe to his channel. And but anyways, continue, Ryan. My apologies.
But in regards to my knowledge of professional wrestling, I'm someone who loves origin stories. So the journey of WWE and its highs and lows and its various name changes throughout the decades, how it basically took on everyone and prevailed. Then everyone sort of scattered and created from that WCW and ECW. Those were the survivors. And then ultimately they got bought up for various reasons. Then the dominance of WWE for, how long was it? Nearly 2 decades? And then the coming rise of AEW, which seems to have more money than sense, depending on your point of view.
I'll agree with that.
Is that a Mountain Dew Pitch Black, sir?
Yes, it is.
They are not a sponsor of the show. I'm just kidding.
No, they were a sponsor of WWE.
Yes, they were.
They get that. They get them fat stacks of Mountain Dew money. We don't.
Oh yeah.
I just like grape flavored Mountain Dew, so I'll drink it.
Right on.
But it's good to see that the WWE is getting back on its feet again with new creative direction and is creating entertaining content, especially with the Royal Rumble of 2023. I think it was a very good performance by everyone involved.
Right on. Well, Ryan, thank you so much for being our guest. Before we get into our show proper, I do want to catch up with you, Johnny. We were supposed to go watch the live wrestling event. It didn't happen. Then
my Sunday last week was extremely busy. It was a lot.
Yeah.
I had a lot more on my plate than I anticipated, so I wound up not going to the event at all and watching it that evening on the fight stream.
Okay. Well, I don't feel so bad. If you'd have told me you went without me,
No, I did not go without you.
See this? I am the head of the table. You don't leave the head of the table behind. So
I am repping my FSW.
I do see that.
You got to give love to the home promotion.
So, okay, I got a question. I thought it was Freak Show Wrestling. It's Future Stars of Wrestling, or are those two different promotions?
Freak Show Wrestling is based out of Oakland. That's
okay.
I believe Sin Bodhi is involved with that. Former Kazarni from WWE.
I'll tell you what, that was the gnarliest.
I've hung out with Sin a few times. He's a good dude.
Gnarliest live wrestling event I've ever been to was a Freak Show Wrestling event. It was just bizarre.
Was Drugs Bunny there?
No, but He-Man and Skeletor were there, and they fought, and they looked great. And then the ghost of Macho Man Randy Savage was there, and he was spot on.
I think the craziest thing I ever saw at a Freak Show event was a lot of crazy goes down. So I'm just kind of singling one moment out just off the top of my brain. Was somebody came out dressed as Mankind, but was miming, and they were announced as Mimekind.
Mimekind. I tell you what,
they had the mask, the ratty white button down, and everything. It was awesome.
Yeah, I tell you, my bucket list moment when I got to be Mankind at it was the Level Up Expo for Versus Pro Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot of fun, and I tell you what, I was only in the ring like 3 minutes. I was completely blown up for another 2 hours afterwards. It was rough. So let's get into it. But since Ryan wasn't here with us last week, we're going to talk a little bit about the Royal Rumble. And speaking of blown up,
real quick before we get into the nitty gritty of the week, I do have an announcement to make. Sadly, I will not be a part of the show next week.
Oh,
okay, that's fine. We're
I'm calling
flexible
it
like
now before Joe can call out. I'm
that.
calling
It's
out.
okay.
I'm calling out 1 week. I'm missing 1 week because I will be busy cheering on my Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl. That day is dedicated
Oh,
to
that's
football and football only.
I bet you were happy. Did you see like when they were in all the Philly signs over the this week on Raw and SmackDown? There were like,
Oh
did
yeah,
you see those in the crowd? Yeah,
I did. I
it's
did.
so hey, no problem. I get it. Football, I think is what that's called, right? Is that?
Yeah, the sports ball.
Uh-oh.
Hey, I knew
Uh-oh.
Das Wolfen was gonna bring something
Uh-oh.
out.
We got
It's
a
on,
rivalry.
brother.
Ooh, yeah. That's too funny. Okay, well, like I was saying, the one time I got to go back to my segue now. The one time I was ever in a wrestling ring, roughly 3 minutes. Ryan, I'll have to send you the clip. Johnny's seen it. I've shown it on the show before. Booker T. I don't know if you guys saw this clip I posted. It was 1 minute 27 seconds long. He was the surprise legend entrant, number 21. I cheered like a chick at a Beatles concert. It was almost embarrassing. I almost didn't want to clip it out, but I just had to because it was such a genuine reaction. So on his Hall of Fame podcast, after the Monday after, he was like, he said by the time he got to the ring, because it was like the longest rampway he's ever had to deal with, especially for a Royal Rumble. He was practically blown up just from like the sheer adrenaline and shock of everything. And then yeah, man. So and he was only in the ring for about 45 seconds. And he said that he said for all those guys who want him to do one last run, he's 57. He said that was his last run. And he was very happy to put Gunther over by letting Gunther throw him over the top rope. And I thought that was really fun. You know, Johnny, we talked about the Royal Rumble all last week. Ryan, I wanted to before we get into the fallout, because I'll tell you what, there's some great storytelling. Were there any highlights from the Rumble you want to talk about?
The fact that the wrestler who was there with Cody Rhodes, who had been there, I think, for over an hour in that ring.
Yeah,
I
Gunther.
felt so sorry for him when Cody done him over, because being in a ring, doing what needs to be done for well over an hour with, 50,000 people all across the stadium, you got to work your heart out, and then he gets chucked over. It's such a shame, but
Great storytelling, though.
I'm sure he'll be pushed as a result of that.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's already the Intercontinental Champion. He was Johnny. Wasn't he your match of the year last year with Sheamus? I know he was in there.
He's one of my match of the years. Yeah, him and Sheamus at Clash of the Castle.
Yeah,
actually taking place in Wales.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So,
oh yeah, they did a big show from Wales this year called Clash of the Castle. If you can get on the WWE Network and check it out, it's a great pay-per-view.
So I'm curious because Peacock in the States is how you watch WWE.
Yeah, but they still have the network
in the UK. They
the
do.
US.
Yeah. So I'm just curious. Do you know how much they are charging people for the network out there? Because Peacock's only like $5.
Peacock.
You know?
It's got to be at least a good £5 or £6 at least. Because we have a value added tax. I think you guys call it a sales tax. They do add a few pounds extra, so it might be more expensive to watch Peacock in the United Kingdom than in the United States.
Okay, so you have
joined the stream.
Oh, Meatball's always welcome on this
every
stream.
week.
Yeah, hopefully my cat doesn't attack me during this because I first time ever I'm not covered in cat hair and I'd like to keep it that way. So all right, well let's talk about the fallout from the men's Royal Rumble first. So Cody Rhodes comes in at 30, wins, and we were all fantasy booking. We all had our different ideas of what was going to happen. But the next night on Raw, or 2 nights later on Raw, he says he's going after both titles. He's going after the tribal chief. What do you think, Johnny? You think this is a
Well, I
misdirect?
mean, there's really only one choice. What's he going to do? Go after Austin Theory? We already had a Money in the Bank cash in for the title that was not top tier. Yeah,
and now Elimination
it was
Chamber.
He was going for Roman the whole time. I mean,
Okay.
There's really only one choice.
Yeah, because the Elimination Chamber match is also for the U.S. title, not the big title. Okay, so then we've got that. Then we've got so I'll be bouncing around because the two different shows. So with this week's SmackDown, we find out that at Elimination Chamber, it's going to be Sami Zayn taking on the head of the table for the title. And I tell you what, Sami Zayn is doing the best work of his life. That segment at the end of SmackDown was chef's kiss, was spectacular. Yeah. What did you think of it?
Well, you can start first, and I'll make the necessary response.
I gotta say, right guy, wrong time.
Oh yeah. No, right, I feel you. There's no way he's winning.
Time. This is Cody's moment. You don't want to step on Cody's moment. But Sami Zayn is the hottest babyface in the WWE right now.
And they were really.
And it's like who's the guy? You got two great contenders and two great storylines here. Who's the guy? I want to lean more towards Cody because Cody does deserve it, and Cody did win the Rumble. And I've been saying since Cody made his return that Cody is the guy to dethrone Roman. Unfortunately, with this Sami Zayn storyline, it's like Daniel Bryan levels of support.
I don't know. But okay. So back to the Rumble. I think they handled it great. I love how they put the men's match on first.
Yeah.
Because at first I didn't like that, but they did it so they could get that out of the way and not have to worry about the potential Sammy problem. They
I
were
was
saving.
Shocked we had no bloodline in the men's Rumble at all. I thought for sure Solo was going to show up.
No. I knew that Roman wasn't going to let any of his. He's like, you guys, you really like you want to. You want to win the Rumble and take on the tribal chief? No, I don't think he would be down for that.
Just to hold them back.
That's crazy.
Oh my God, Roman Reigns is so good right now.
That was the Roman tone too.
Yeah, I know. I do want to take a quick second to say hi to the chat. Hi, Zax. Thanks for stopping by. I hope one of these days you can make it to the show.
Very busy schedule.
Yes, I understand. My boy JoesAtmosfere stopped by, even though he's at Mardi Gras doing his thing. He sent me some pictures. He's there in full costume. If he gets some decent streaming service out there, he might pop in with a little guest appearance with the Fox, his wife, but probably not. I also want to say hi to, I'm guessing that's pronounced Unstoppable. Thank you for coming by. Boosh is in the house. Of course, my mother, Penny, thank you for coming by. And of course, Ryan, but you're on the panel, so I'm not gonna, And then my fiancée, who's out of town right now, miss you, sweetie. CC's in the chat. CC. And then I think that's I think I can. Oh, and Keely Chow's here. Hello, Keely Chow. So everybody who's here, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit that like button. And I'm sure Boosh and a couple of you and Zax might have noticed that not simul streaming like I had been the last few weeks. We are now on the part of the KGRA network. I thought it was starting next week, but I think we're on it today. So we don't have the ability to, because we're streaming with them, to also stream with me. So I'll just be putting clips and stuff, fun stuff on my channel, like my reaction to Booker T that I talked about just a little bit ago. That clip can be found on my channel, whereas the full length streams, the full length live reaction, and the coverage of the Royal Rumble and all that stuff is on the Pop Culture Minefield channel. So sorry about that little derailment there, but I did want to say hi and acknowledge the chat, because I'm all about acknowledgement.
Acknowledge the chat.
Acknowledge the chat.
Without you great guys and gals, we wouldn't be where we are today. So thank you all for watching.
Definitely. And so, Johnny, back to the this the Rumble. So they put the men's on first. We get Cody winning, and then at the end we have the Bloodline storyline where Sami Zayn with the chair shot heard round the world with the pop from the crowd that nearly blew the roof
Ease
off.
up the brakes. I still don't think that was the chair. Seth Rollins on Roman was the chair shot heard around the world.
I think this is the new one. This
was the chair shot heard in North America and parts of Canada.
Okay, fine, whatever. But it was very reminiscent of the Roman Shield chair shot. In fact, I think they even showed that at the beginning of.
I think Roman had the same reaction.
Yeah.
Like he saw it the exact same way. This didn't hurt, but what the hell just happened?
Like what just happened? Hey, Monkey Jeebus, welcome to the chat. So what I wanted to get at, so this goes right into the SmackDown. Okay, so at the end of Royal Rumble, Sami Zayn gets a huge beat down. Main event, Jey Uso won't be a part of it. Takes off. Roman's doing the gaslighting thing that he does so well. He's like, how could you do this to me? Blah 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 blah. Breaking up the family, and then it goes like, so on SmackDown. Throughout the entire show, they're showing segments of Jay's not with him. Jay's still MIA. He's nowhere to be found, and Roman is upset about this, and so they do a few different vignettes throughout the show where he's sitting in the back, and then finally at one point he just says like, go find Jay. And it was funny because there's like, they all say okay, and he's like, you ain't gonna find him sitting on the couch. It was like, he's just such a dick. It's so nice. I love it.
Well, hopefully people are still booing him.
Oh yeah, well yeah. But so at the end of the show, he's coming out to do his thing, and we get someone in a hoodie attacking Roman Reigns. And it looks kind of similar to when Jey Uso has done something like that in the past. But no, the hood comes off, and it's the fiery ginger
curls of
and he speared the has he ever done a spear before? He speared
I've never seen him do a spear, not on WWE.
He speared the shit out of Roman Reigns, and he got on the mic, and I'm telling you, dude, he's like you said, right guy, wrong time or whatever, because he was like, I never wanted anything from you until now. I want that title. And it was great, man. And then of course the numbers game, the Bloodline comes out, and we get SmackDown ending with Roman Reigns just yelling at Sami Zayn about how he's broken up his family, and he's gonna wait until Elimination Chamber, because he's gonna basically murder him in front of his family in Montreal. He wants his wife and his kid and his friends and his family and all of his countrymen to see the end of Sami Zayn. That's why he wouldn't let him. They were gonna like Pillmanize him in the corner, but Roman stopped it. He's like, no, I don't want no excuses. I want him at his best. I'm gonna murder this chump in front of his family.
Building up the hype, as it were.
So what did you? Okay, so what did you think about? Like, I'm loving all this storytelling they've got sprinkled all throughout the pay-per-view.
It is the best story in wrestling right now.
Yeah. And that's it. Okay, it was a man of few words.
I don't think we're going to get the ending that the fans are pushing for because of the Cody Rhodes elephant in the room.
Here's what I think is going to happen. It's very similar. Oh, go ahead.
I see this leading. I don't know where the Jey Uso thing is the only thing that can throw a wrench into this work. All of this, because I pegged last month. I said that it's probably going to be Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens dethroning the Usos at WrestleMania.
So
I still hold firm to that. But now with Jay, the will they won't they with Jey Uso, I don't know where this is going to pivot to. Who knows? At this point, it could even be Sami Zayn and Jey Uso taking on Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso.
Yeah,
I love that belt over to Solo.
I love that I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, a month ago, we were convinced we knew exactly how this was going to go. And now they could go a number of different directions, all of which I'd be happy with. The
the way I see it ending up is they're going to find a way to split those titles, probably at Mania. Maybe it's a 2 out of 3 falls match with Cody, one for each belt. They're going to split that title back into 2 separate belts. And Cody's going to win one of them at Mania, and I see Sammy taking the other one at SummerSlam.
Nah, man. Nah. I'm going to have to respectfully disagree, sir. I think
Right. That's what the
think
show's for.
exactly.
Discourse.
Yes, I think Cody's going to win. Well, first of all, before we get to Mania, at the Elimination Chamber, I think there's going to be some kind of Sammy's going to like lose in a heartbreaking fashion. Like he's
it's
going to
be babyface performance of the year.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And this is where I think Jay gets involved. And I don't know which way yet. Like I don't have my crystal ball's a little foggy, but I know he'll get involved. I just don't know whose back he's going to have. But whoever's back he has, it'll be like a swerve. Like, so the one person will think, for example, let's say Roman's going to be like, okay, Jay's here. He's got my back. But then he ends up sticking the knife in it, or vice or with Sammy. And that's going to somehow affect that match. And Roman's going to still have both of his titles. And I think the result of that is either going to lead into your idea where it could be Jay and Sammy, or if Jay comes out and screws over Sammy, Kevin comes out, and they're going to set up whatever the WrestleMania match is going to be. But I do think it's going to involve the tag titles. I really do. Which we'll get into in a little bit when we go back to the Raw and SmackDown, because we have number one contenders now for one of the tag titles, not both. But so far we haven't done any kind of hinting at all for breaking up the undisputed title. And here's what I'd like to happen at this point. Cody Rhodes has been on record saying he wants the Winged Eagle belt back. I think he wins. And then on Raw, he shows up with the Cody Rhodes version of that belt. It'll be nice and big with the wings. It'll probably be different. It won't be the exact same design, but it'll be very similar. And I think that's going to be the new. And because I don't like this, like 2 champions. Like I think the tag. First of all, there's not enough tag teams to justify having 2 sets of titles. So that they need to and those belts look horrendous. So they just need to like merge the titles.
You don't like the Trojan nickel or the Trojan penny?
No, man, they look terrible. Those are the ugliest championship belts in all of professional wrestling. And I mean, it's even uglier than the 24/7 title, in my opinion, which was rubbish. So
that looked like a diner sign, though.
It did, right? 24/7.
Yeah. Literally anyone could have won it. So
bring back the hardcore belt, the smashed up Winged Eagle.
Yeah. The one that I think Mick Foley still has that one like hanging up in his house somewhere.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. The belt was made for him, and it became one of the greatest props of the Attitude Era, in my opinion.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm.
I think that if Crash Holly was still alive, he'd have a shot at owning it as well. I mean, Crash. Rest in peace, Mike Lockwood. But Crash Holly made that belt. That was his belt too.
Yeah. Here's Zach's prediction. Jacques Rougeau and the other Mountie hit the ring to save Sammy in Montreal. Bret Hart's music hits. Roman taps out. Dude, anything with Bret Hart, I'm there. And it is Montreal. Oh.
Light bulb moment.
Zach's. Now you got there's so many different things they can do. This is when wrestling.
That's the best part about it, isn't it?
I don't know.
Variation.
I see Bret getting involved in the women's elimination chamber match more because Natalia's in it.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, possibly, but I don't know. They're in Montreal. They're gonna reference the screw job. I mean,
of course. They've
got. What bothers me is they've got Bret under contract. They pronouns pal. WWE has Bret Hart under contract. And I feel like they did that just so he wouldn't go to AEW and manage FTR, because they haven't used him at all. He wasn't on Raw 30.
Mhm.
I haven't seen him on any of the other shows. Like their
His
Treasure Hunt
health,
show.
I think, precludes him from traveling a lot. I mean, the man has had 2 strokes, maybe 3 now.
I only knew about the one stroke.
I think he's had 2. I think there was one a couple of years ago too.
No, that was cancer. He beat cancer.
Oh no, that's right. It was cancer. You're right.
Yeah. He's had one
Right,
stroke and
okay.
then he had cancer, but he beat cancer. Went to college, got it. He's like a Renaissance man now in his old age, which is fine. But no, I haven't heard anything about his health. Dear God, I'm not ready to lose Bret Hart yet. Please, no, I don't want to. Anyway, yeah, reverse screw job, and then all is right with the world. That would be. I'd love it. And maybe that's I don't know. Maybe somehow they get Bret involved to help since you want to split up the titles. All I know is that Cody really wants the WWE title and he wants the winged eagle belt, and I know he'll do it because when he won the Intercontinental title, he brought back the OC Intercontinental title.
Yep.
He was very instrumental in the first design of the TNT title over in AEW, and so I think he's not only, I think he's going to win, and he's going to bring the warm and fuzzy in our tum feelings as Simon Miller over at
fuzzy.
Yeah, meatball.
Personally, I'm of the view that the WWE will raise Cody Rhodes up and up and up and up to a sort of pinnacle, maybe at WrestleMania or maybe at the next WrestleMania. You never know, and then just drag him back down because, folks, the history of the WWE is a history of helping those who help you and punishing who threaten their monopoly. We saw this with WCW stars who came back over. And
but that's when Vince was running things, and I don't
think Triple H is nearly as petty as Vince was.
Yeah, I don't think, but yeah, I think Papa H is going to do what's best for business and not what's best for his ego.
As evidenced by the fact that Cody is not wearing yellow polka dots.
Right.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. So back, like I said, I'm bouncing around a lot. But speaking of Cody, so Cody's coming out on Raw, makes it clear that he's going after Roman Reigns, getting the going for the big title, and then I don't know if you saw my tweet on Twitter. I put, looks like Cody Rhodes is going on a Judgment Day side quest on the road to WrestleMania because Judgment Day comes out, which I was not expecting. But then there's a great exchange between him and Dominic, ex-con Dom, and I thought,
Dom.
Yeah, right. I don't know. It's so good.
Watch your mouth. He'll cut you.
Yeah, right.
You catch a shank to the ribs.
The setup was it almost seemed like I thought Dominic was challenging him, but when they come back from the break, we find out that it's going to be Finn Balor fighting Cody Rhodes.
Oh,
This was a great match, by the way. What did you think? What did you think of the match? I go ahead. Sorry.
I'm Team Fergal since day one. So to me, Finn Balor cannot have a bad match ever.
I like how he was protected in his loss because Cody Rhodes had to give him 3 crossroads. Did you notice that? Yeah. So it was even though he lost, it was, and of course, Edge had to get involved. And the big rumor is that the Mania is going to have Edge and Balor in a Hell in a Cell, and
that would be something.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, it's looking more and more like I'm right about Austin Theory. Every time he comes out and he does that, the champ is here, John Cena shit. I'm telling you, man, it's going to be him and Cena at WrestleMania, guaranteed. It's going to be those guys.
I'm just waiting for the lights to go down and whap-a-doo.
So yeah, something's gonna happen there. But do you think we get I think we get the father-son match at Mania this year. What do you think?
Oh, I think for sure. I mean, did you see them racing the race cars and not even driving?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
That was so dumb, but whatever. It's all. Hey man, they're getting paid.
They
I mean,
gotta
I'm
get
sure
that
that's some
Fox money somehow.
yeah, it's like some kind of crossover with NASCAR, something. I don't know.
And then you have the NASCAR drivers. I forget who it was, but just like totally out of the element. Be like, you need to learn some respect when you talk to your pappy. I'm like, God, can you be any more redneck?
Well, that's the
I mean,
cheesy
well,
part of professional wrestling that we all love and enjoy.
as someone
that
who's
was more Southern wrestling, though.
yeah, no, as someone who lived in North Carolina for a very long time, I can definitely tell you, yeah, they could have been more redneck for sure, but
Oh, obviously
they were up there. They were up
they
there.
didn't go full West Virginia on us, but
The opinions spoken by Johnny Rock are his and his alone, and do not reflect those of Pop Culture Minefield or any of the other panelists here.
Come on. I think it's a universally accepted truth that Appalachian redneck is a special breed of redneck.
Hey man, I got accepted. I almost went to. That's funny you brought that. I almost went to Appalachian State. I got accepted there, but I ended up going to McPherson in Kansas instead. But I almost went to App, which would have been maybe a good thing I didn't, because I don't want to end up like Deliverance, squealing like a pig or something. Anywho, my boy Otis from Superman. You know what Gary says a lot is you can't derail when it's your show. I was about to apologize for derailing, but it's my show, so this is totally off subject. The Salty Nerds reviewed the 1978 Superman a couple days ago, and my youngest son, who's 16, had never seen it, and so like during the course of this, during the course of this review, I get into I'm reading the comments and people are asking which version, and I'm like, wait, what? There's more than one version? So then there's 3 versions of that movie. One,
this is the one with all the Brando scenes restored, right?
No, that's the Donner cut. That's Superman 2, the Donner cut.
Oh, okay.
This was just called Superman the movie extended or something. I don't know. I bought I
3-hour cut of the
3 hours and 8 minutes. I found it on Movies Anywhere. So I bought it. It was like $9. It was on sale, and my oldest son came over, and so the 3 of us ended up watching it, and it was like I have the Salty Nerds to thank for a cool, because my youngest son had never seen it. My oldest son had only seen the theatrical cut, which is the only one I had seen, and dude, there was like 45 close to 50 minutes of extra footage. That was really awesome, and most of it.
Yeah, I guess I just have the standard version.
Yeah. So there's the Blu-ray with the extended version, because I was talking to somebody else on Twitter about this, and he found the DVD, the Blu-ray, and the Blu-ray has the 2 extended editions. Apparently, there was one that got released on television that they did in 2 parts, and that was the one that the 3-hour one, and then in the early 2000s, I guess they did another special edition. So there's a extended edition, special edition, and then the theatrical version. And if you get the Blu-ray, the special edition and the extended edition are on the same thing. So it's like a twofer. And my friend, so dude was showing me that. But
I guess I gotta hit up the Amazon after the show and
yeah, if you want a physical copy, it was on Amazon. But I don't know. I'm getting tired of stuff, so I'm
a physical media hoe.
I know. I mean, I get it, and I get and I see the stack of physical media behind Ryan, so I'm sure he is too. But I just I don't know, man.
And videotapes.
Yeah, I love that I can pull it up on my Surface Pro, my computer, my TV, my telephone, my tablet. My kids can pull it up on with Movies Anywhere. I mean, it's very aptly named, and it links all of your every digital copy that came with any physical media I ever bought is there. Anything I've ever bought through, because you can link it all. So any Amazon movies I've bought, Google Google Play Store movies I've bought, it's like I love it, like everything that from all of them across
I
the
didn't know you
board.
could link all of that to it too. I just know that
Yeah,
whenever
yeah.
I get the digital code in one of my Blu-rays, I usually just send the code to my sister because she maintains like a family server, and like everybody in the family has access to it. So whenever any of us get a movie, we upload it to it. So
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Now, so yeah, here. So when you go to I'm in my movies anywhere, and I know I'm sorry guys, this is a huge like has nothing. They're like talk about wrestling.
wrestling.
Yeah.
You just made the list.
That was good. That was good. That was good. I think that was Das Wolfen's way of saying get back on track. But yeah, you can. I'll wrap up by saying Apple TV, Prime Video, Vudu, Google Play. Like I have a ton of these connected. I've even got Fandango, which I guess is also now Vudu. So anything you bought off YouTube, which is a part of Google Play. So yeah, and then anything I got through Disney. I love this app. So anyway, so to wrap up this little
Speaking of Fandango, I wonder if Joe has any news of him on the indie scene.
We'll have to follow up with
Fandango.
Didn't he have a tag team at one point?
Oh yeah, with Tyler Breeze. They like to go by Breezango, but I always called them Febreze.
That's good, man. Well, before I get us back on track to wrestling, I did want to say that that's one of the things I love about Salty Nerd is when they do these old reviews. If it's something I haven't seen in a while, I'll pop it on and watch it. And this just happened to be like both of my sons were here, and it was a lot of fun. Most of the scenes, the additional footage were toward the end, when the earthquake, because of the missile, that part. There's a lot of added stuff of Superman saving people like all over the place, like just him saving a bunch of different people in different situations, and it's more of that.
I mean, they didn't change that ridiculous ass ending, did they? Where he flies backward
Of course
around
not.
the
That's
world
still
and
there. Yeah,
reverses
no,
time,
yeah. I
which
mean,
has never been one of Superman's powers, mind you.
Never.
Oh man,
Never. Yes, this is true. Anyway,
that is still the most ridiculous thing about that movie.
It is. No, it is. But it was nice nostalgia, and it's still like it was fun. My oldest son and I enjoyed the extra footage, and my youngest son, I asked him at the end because he's hard to get a read off of, and I was like, well, "What'd you think, buddy? Out of 5 stars, what would you give it?" He's like, "It's a solid 3." I was like, "Right on. All right, cool. I can dig it." And he's spoiled by today's technology, and this was a movie made in '78. So anyway, back to wrestling because we are going to be having a break here in just a few minutes. Or go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I would rate Superman 78 a 3 out of 5 as well, but that's just because I'm biased and I like Superman 2 better.
I like the Donner cut. Donner cuts.
Yeah, the Donner cut is just fantastic. And come on,
Yeah.
Karen Stamp, Kneel Before Zod. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Speaking of Superman, let's go back to talking about some Supermen in the ring. We have.
You just missed the perfect opportunity for a segue.
What was
Superman
that?
punch.
Yeah, it's like all right. I'm still. Hey, I'm still working on this hosting thing. This is what my 12th show, maybe. I don't know. So, but we get back on Raw. Let's talk about Rhea Ripley. Now, so Rhea Ripley won the Women's Royal Rumble. And I know I only got a couple minutes left, so I'll do it real quick. She came in the Rumble at number 1 and went coast to coast, won it, which was amazing considering that she got the shit speared out of her by the Glamazon during the Men's Royal Rumble earlier that night. And then when she came out at number 1, she was selling the ribs. And if you watch the reaction video, I was just like, oh man, because she was my pick all along. I was like, oh, now she's not. Oh, and she's number 1. But she did it. And everybody thought she was gonna, like, we all thought she was going to challenge Bianca Belair, right, Johnny? I mean, you and I both
yeah,
thought
I
that, right?
thought she was going to, but I actually like the Charlotte pick.
I do
better.
too, because I like the
After
story.
the break, I'll tell you why.
Yeah, I like how they I like the storytelling aspect of it, because she's like, when Charlotte came after her, was it 2000, I think, or 2020, I mean?
It was pandemic year.
Yeah, it was 2020. So she I can't do the promo justice, but Rhea Ripley gave a really good promo explaining why she's going after the SmackDown champ instead. Now, this is interesting to me because, one, she needs to win. She needs this win. Charlotte Flair does not need this win. Rhea Ripley needs this win.
I think this entire push is an apology for 2020.
Yeah,
because that was supposed to be Rhea's moment. That was supposed to be her
it really was
coming out party on the big stage. Like, this is Rhea Ripley. This is what Rhea Ripley can do. And unfortunately, COVID had other plans.
Yeah,
and
but hey,
pound for pound, the Rhea Charlotte match of WrestleMania 36, the one we shall never speak of again because of the pandemic and Rob Gronkowski. That was the best non-cinematic match on the entire WrestleMania.
Yeah, it was.
It was really hard to get me invested in a no crowd atmosphere, just an empty arena match. But that match did it for me. That match was the saving grace of WrestleMania 36. If you take out the Firefly Funhouse and the Boneyard match, that is match of the pay-per-view. And I feel like, especially because the lead up to that, before they actually axed WrestleMania that year, you had some great promos with Rhea Ripley on the field at Raymond James Stadium talking about how she's always wanted to wrestle in WrestleMania and she's always wanted to be under the big lights and under the big show. And then all of a sudden it was taken away from her. And I felt like she got cheated. I felt like she got robbed. And
I'm actually kind of appreciate how they did it, because poor Drew McIntyre is probably never going to get that moment again.
Yeah,
and he had to have it.
Supposed to be his moment.
Yeah. So in a way, I kind of like that they're doing that Rhea lost that match. Okay. But she's going to win this one in front of, probably close to 100,000 people. She's going to put on, one of the best matches ever. And she's going to win, and she's going to have that moment she really does deserve, because she reminds me of she's like this generation's China. She's pound for pound the best. Her, like, that's another reason why I want to see her and Bianca. I keep going back and forth between the two. Like, I can't, they're both so damn good, I
do want to see her and Bianca have a really good banger of a title feud, but I think right now the Charlotte Flair is the right choice because it makes her story come full circle. And that's what I like to see in wrestling. I like to see them call back to the past. I like to see when WWE acknowledges everything that comes before. And this Rhea Charlotte Flair story, this will put a nice endpoint on that feud that's been developing for 3 years now.
No, and I'm very much looking forward to it. So here's the question I have, though. What's this going to do to the Judgment Day? Because the Judgment Day runs Raw, and she's gonna leave her Poppy behind. She's gonna go to SmackDown and leave Poppy behind.
I mean, if the Bloodline can straddle both shows, why can't Rhea Ripley? Why can't the Judgment Day?
Why do they even try to say there's a brand split anymore? You know what I mean? It just doesn't.
It had its time, basically. It had its time.
Even the Elimination Chamber is cross-platform, so to speak. I mean, you had the Final Four entrance in the Royal Rumble, which is a mixture of SmackDown and Raw stars.
Yeah.
You got Natalya moving on from SmackDown, and then they're doing another Fatal 4-Way on Raw to put the sixth and final member in that Elimination Chamber, which I'm calling it right now. It's probably going to be Mi Chin, Mia Kim, Mia Yim.
I don't get why they do that with the women. Like, whereas every single entrant for the men's Elimination Chamber has to be earned. They have these qualifying matches, but on the women's, and they're usually like individual matches. On the women's, oh no, it's the final four of the Royal Rumble. And then they did another
the four of the final five, because Rhea Ripley, the last four eliminated.
The last four eliminated. But then didn't they have Didn't SmackDown have like a 4-way women's
Yeah,
match that
Natalya
Natalya won? Yeah. So, but I don't know. That is something I think they need to get better at with the women. The women's equivalent to the men's, whether it's a Rumble or because they did the same thing with the Rumble. Like, there's just no. I wish they would just treat them kind of the same. You know what I mean? Like, why is it we're going to get more matches from the men to get the participants in the chamber?
Well,
than
that's
the women.
spotty. That's just spotty booking across the board. And I mean, I criticized it during the lead up to the Royal Rumble. I'm like, why can Bobby Lashley just say I'm in the Royal Rumble? Why can Brock Lesnar just say I'm in the Royal Rumble? But yet Ricochet has to fight top dollar to get a spot.
Right. Exactly. So anyway, I get but hey, I don't want to complain because this is the best wrestling. This is the best WWE stuff I've seen in probably 20 years, man. Like, it's just, it's
definitely,
it's just so good. So I know we're gonna take a break here in a second, but my God, if you guys haven't already, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna learn a little bit more about this during our ad break. This Fuel Up stuff is delicious. Fuel Up Wake is the one that I have. They actually have several different types. Fuel Up Hydration. They've got Wake, Play, and Rest. I actually want to get the Play next because I think that might help me with my ADHD theater. But anyway, I'm going to let the guys in the back take us away so you can learn more about Fuel Up.
Hi guys, this is Gary from Pop Culture Minefield here on KGRA, and we're leaving for our first break. I hope we survive.
A birthday without her mom, an anniversary without her husband, her wedding day without her dad. These are the days when military families feel it most of all. The loss of their soldier, their sailor, their airman, their Marine, their Coast Guardsman. Families never forget their loved ones lost to war or illness or suicide. Families never forget, and neither do we. We are TAPS, the Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors. We provide resources, support, and comfort to heal the hearts and meet the needs of grieving military families, all at no cost to them. Your generosity can make an enormous difference in the lives of the families of our fallen military heroes. Our military families need to know they are not alone and they are not forgotten. Show them your support at taps.org.
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Oh wow, we survived. Welcome back from the commercial break. Now for some more Pop Culture Minefield on KGRA.
I could have swore we were going to do a Fuel Up thing. I feel so stupid now.
It's okay. We got the aliens back.
Here we go. If you would like some of this delicious Fuel Up, go to fuelup.gg/dorkring with with that promo code, you'll get free shipping. I highly recommend it. This stuff is great. It's got 180 milligrams of caffeine. Just don't chug it like Chris, our Tuesday host, did. Because I don't know if we have that video. If we do, John, you got to show it. But basically, Chris was basically cracked out of his mind because he just chugged it too fast. So drink responsibly. Drink responsibly. FuelUp.gg/dorkring for free shipping. And I believe the link is, yes, Das Wolfen put the link in the public chat for everyone to check out. So, Johnny, you said on the other side of the break you were going to...
Oh, well, I thought we had shorter time. I said what I needed to say about it. I wanted to go into the whole Ripley Charlotte thing. I thought we were like right about to take break. That's why.
Oh, okay. You got to, you know, got to pick up, man. You got to look at the private chat in the back, and you know, be aware, you know, sometimes, and they'll always do the music to let us know.
I came here to lead, not to read.
So I do want to acknowledge Monkey Jeebus, some of his comments in the chat. I disagree, man. I think Judgment Day is good. They don't suck, bro.
Amazing.
Yeah, I don't like. You're gonna have to qualify.
Finn Balor leading it.
Yeah, Ryan, what are your thoughts on Judgment Day? You know,
I think it's pretty good. We need more ideas, folks, especially with a brand, the WWE, that was kind of stale for a while. So all of these ideas, all of these storylines, factions, events, all these different tie-ins, as the Dork Knight made it clear, this is the best wrestling he's seen for the WWE in about 2 decades. And it's good that we're finally getting good quality product out of a company which, for most of my lifetime, because I'm only 23, so for most of my lifetime, WWE has been a bit more measured, a bit more relaxed, but it's good to see that they're firing on all cylinders now.
Right on. Yeah, I like I love how the Judgment Day, oh man, I don't know, I'm loving what they've done with Dominic. They took somebody, I had no faith in Dominic at all when he first came. I was like, man, he's fast tracked to the main roster, didn't have to do any NXT stuff, riding on his daddy's coattails. But I tell you what, I'm wrong about that kid. He gets booed out of the building all he has to do is show up. You know, he's just, he's so good now. And I never thought I'd say that. And I loved in the Rumble when he tried to do the Three Amigos, and then Cody Rhodes was like on that third one, and he just flipped it into the crossroads. That was a sick spot. That was pretty cool. Yes, Remo. I don't know how to say that name. Remo Chune, I don't know. Chune in the chat. He does, man. He's got great heat. Yeah, it's like so much heat.
As somebody
I think
who
I
used
see
to actually
smoke.
wrestle and be a manager, it's so much easier to get heat than it is to get a babyface pop. I think everybody should start off with a good heel run to kind of introduce you to the crowd. I understand you need baby faces, but I love being a heel. I love getting the crowd to boo me more than I like getting them to cheer me.
Oh shit!
Plus, it's just more fun. Being the bad guy's more fun.
Yeah, that's true. But
True.
So that name I butchered, that's my buddy Trey from way back in the day. I've known this dude like from my North
Monkey
Carolina
Jeebus
days.
is just crapping on all my heroes. Now he's shooting on the Miz.
Well,
The Miz is a future Hall of Famer. Deal with it.
Yeah, but it's good. You flustered me there. I was in the middle of saying hi to my buddy Trey. I'm glad that you made it by and are participating in the chat. If you don't already, buddy, subscribe. And I'd love to have you on sometime if you want to be a guest panelist. Just let me know. Just shoot me a text or something. So back to the where were we on? I'm sorry. See, this is why I need Fuel Up Play. It's good for concentration and hydration. And man, I need all the help I can get with concentration lately. Let me tell you. So let's just get back into. We were talking about the Judgment Day. and Rhea Ripley. Before we move away from that subject, though, what do you think? So you think you don't think it's going to matter at all? You think they'll just hop back and forth? They being Judgment Day will just hop back and forth like the Bloodline has been. Johnny, that's what you think?
mean, you said it yourself. What's a brand split anymore?
Yeah, yeah. So
they've united the tag titles. They've united the big belt. Like, what's next? Unifying the women's titles?
I think so. So that's what I was going to get into, actually. So I was going to say a way around that, because we want to see the Bianca match. So we have SummerSlam, maybe. We get the women unifying the titles, because let's face it, there's not enough women in that Raw. I mean, they had to call up chicks from NXT to fill up that Royal Rumble.
They always call up women from NXT.
They had not always.
Was a great addition.
She was great. But man, they at one point in time they literally had somebody come out of the crowd to join the women's Royal Rumble. I mean,
you realize that was Undertaker's wife, right?
I do. I'm just
yeah. Come on, that's not just somebody from the crowd.
Well, hey, technically that statement was true. So, so I all right. Cool.
Although speaking of NXT call-ups to the Rumble, I'm really glad that they gave a good spotlight to Zoe Stark, former FSW champion.
Oh.
So
yes, that was cool. That was cool. I would have liked.
She's one of our Vegas alumni currently on the big.
I would have liked to have seen. I tell you what, on Venge. Oh, never mind. You said no spoilers. Okay, so anyway, let's get back to the. Let's see. Let's talk about the tag titles. So we now have Braun Strowman and Ricochet, who have kind of quickly become one of my favorite pairings. I love how he uses his partner as a weapon. Like Braun Strowman's always picking up Ricochet and tossing him into people. And the way they beat Imperium to become the #1 contenders for the SmackDown titles was.
So you just love how he hits a mother with another mother.
yeah. Come on, man. It's great. It's I'm really digging it, especially because the genesis of this. I don't know if it was planned or if they took chicken shit and turned it into chicken salad, but this was all because Braun Strowman made some comment about flippy floppers, on Twitter, and Ricochet called him out, and then they kind of had they faced each other.
They had a micro feud.
Yeah, and then they were like, now they're like buddies. They're and I'm digging it, man. I don't think they're gonna win. Although they brought up a good point on SmackDown, is like, where's Jay? Is Jay even going to show up next week to defend those titles? And if not, does that mean that's how they split them up? They're just going to forfeit the SmackDown, or they're going to do some New Day rules? Like
I could see them. Technically, it's called the Freebird rule, not the New Day rule.
Oh, my bad. The Freebird.
But I could see them freebirding it to Solo.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I guess. How do you think that's going to end up, though, Johnny?
I don't see Jay turning on the family.
No, I mean, who do you think is going to win next week's match?
And this is just setting us up for heartbreak.
Okay. So you think
Jay turning on Sammy?
Yeah. So the Usos are going to retain next week's SmackDown against Strowman and Ricochet. Okay.
Yeah, I see Jey Uso being the one to cost Sami Zayn at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. No, I think
because that's going to add more fuel to the fire for the Mania match that I.
Speaking of fuel up.
Mm-hmm.
Go to fuelup.gg/dorkring for free shipping.
Well, you never know, folks. You never know. Braun Strowman, he could just throw Ricochet at Jey Uso if he shows up. I always get the two confused because they're twins. And then pins the other Uso and wins. Something completely out of left.
They actually made it easier for you now. Jimmy has long hair now, and
Jay's got the short hair. Jimmy's got the longer hair.
Yeah, because for the longest time, I'm like, man, I'm so glad I don't have to do commentary for WWE because I can never tell these guys apart.
Right. And I like how they made that part of the storyline when main event Jey Uso was feuding with Roman. They actually would bring that up. It was like, when Roman was insulting him, like, I forget some of the lines, but it was essentially like, people don't even know who you are. Are you Jimmy? Are you Jay?
Which
So
one are
that-
you?
yeah, yeah. So okay, so we covered the tag title situation. Becky Lynch. Sorry, I know, bouncing back and forth. She comes out on Raw, and I'm so glad they're doing this because they made such a big deal about how Bayley and Becky were going to have the first ever women's steel cage match on Monday Night Raw, and then the match kind of really didn't happen. This was on Raw Triple X.
Wait a minute. Didn't Charlotte and Sasha Banks have a steel cage match on Raw?
Not on. I mean, I don't know. I'm just going off what the commentators said at Raw 30 because they made a big deal about it. They said it was the first time on Raw, so it might have been on SmackDown. I don't know. But then they didn't have it. So now, Becky comes out, and I even though she's the baby face, the way she gets her Bayley to agree to this match in the steel cage that we're gonna I believe is this coming Monday, tomorrow. Is she takes Damage Control hostage. She beats up Io Sky in the back, then drags out what's her name? I always get Dakota
Kai.
Dakota Kai, and drags her out with the chair around the ankle like she's gonna Pillmanize her, and right before she goes to do it, Bailey's like, okay, I'll do the match, and then Becky's like, yeah, you might want to go check on Io in the back, like a boss, and then just walks off. What do you think about this whole angle? Obviously they changed all of Becky's plans for WrestleMania, and we're getting this cage match on Raw. What do you think is going to happen with this?
Well, I mean, I like, and this is a very babyface move for Becky. If you know which babyface she's emulating, she's female Stone Cold. Treat her like female Stone Cold. This was a very Stone Cold tactic. Stone Cold would beat dudes up in the back. He would beat half the corporation up in the back before coming out to confront Vince.
Yeah.
So that it's a very Stone Cold move, and I just love that they position her. I love that that's her character. The man comes around, and the man is here to stay and stomp mud holes in your ass.
Oh, hell yeah. No, I said for years when she first did the man gimmick that they should have treated her more like Stone Cold, but they went off track for whatever reason. So do you think they're going to stretch this taffy out? Do you think that this feud's going to go all the way to WrestleMania? Like, I mean, because we got like over 2 months.
I mean, I see one of two things happening. Either Becky reignites her Twitter feud with Ronda Rousey and we get a singles match between the two of them, which I've been clamoring for years.
That's not going to happen. Dave Meltzer reported that Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler are fighting for the titles, the tag titles, the women's tag titles at WrestleMania.
Oh, well, then that blows my other prediction out of the water. That that Damage Control would turn on Bayley and kick her ass out.
Maybe and they will, because
Bayley turns babyface again and teams with Becky.
Well, you can't, maybe, but how are you going to have Ronda? The only problem I have with Dave's reporting, which the older he gets, the spottier it gets, to be honest with you. So I don't, maybe take it with a grain of salt.
That's quite.
That means you're gonna have two heel teams taking on each other at Mania. That doesn't. I mean, something's got to change before then.
Maybe it could be a triple threat.
Okay.
Maybe Ronda and Shayna could be the poison pill that splits up Damage Control.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
I mean, we still have one premium live event, maybe two if they do Fastlane again.
I don't think they're gonna. But I could be wrong. I think they're just gonna do Elimination Chamber. But who knows? They probably don't even know what they're gonna do. So another segment that we had back to the champ is here, the Austin Theory, that whole MVP VIP lounge. Come on, we're getting the Hurt Business back, right? The Hurt Business is coming back, because that was the dumbest thing to break that faction up. They were so over.
That was Vince.
Great. Yeah,
that was Vince.
Yeah. Well, so what do you think is going to happen? Because the Elimination Chamber match is for the U.S. title. We got Oh gosh, can somebody find the graphic for that? Like, who's in that? It's Austin Theory. Do we know if Bobby Lashley's already in it? Like that? Like
I believe Bobby Lashley is in it. I also believe Brock Lesnar is in it.
Is Brock Lesnar gonna be in it? Really, for the U.S. title?
Yeah.
So how do you? Well, all that's going to do then is so Austin Theory is going to be able to get out of that with his title.
Oh yeah,
because Brock and Brock and Bobby are just they're building up for a big, I think, rubber match at WrestleMania. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I that's exactly where I think they're going. And
Okay.
Austin Theory is going to escape that chamber. It's just going to add to his legacy. Future Hall of Famer Austin Theory that he is.
You know, I did not like Austin Theory until, probably a couple months ago. You know what I mean? Like I like that he got rid of the selfie gimmick. I like that he's like,
since you heard me just singing his praises every week, I just
grows his beard out. It's looking all shredded. Nah, man, it's his work, man. He's putting in the work. He really is, and I'm
he
really
is the next Randy Orton, in my opinion. He is going to be a WWE lifer. He's going to put in 20 years to the company and get a hall. He's going to win. He's a future champion.
I can totally see that.
Austin Theory is one of those next generation of guys to keep an eye on, because that guy's going to go places.
Oh, definitely.
And I think an Elimination Chamber win under his belt is a good step in the right direction for that.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. What are we looking at here?
What's this?
Oh, here we go. Thank you.
Oh, there we go.
No, that's not right. That's not right. That's not right. Because
that was last year's chamber.
Yeah, I think that's last year's. Yeah, yeah. No, that
strong lineup though.
It would have been, but yeah, no, that's fake news. I don't know who. Sorry about that.
Roman wins, lol.
yeah. No, Roman's taking on Sammy, dude, and I'm oh my god, I cannot wait for that. They better, they better be prepared for the crowd reaction. And when Sammy loses, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like when Hogan at Bash in the Beach with people just throwing shit in the ring and just getting I can see it. I can really see.
I mean, they already telegraphed it, because AEW and WWE couldn't be more different. Which I'll tell you the second part of this when we talk about AEW, but WWE does not like letting people win in their hometown.
Isn't that weird? AEW, you just like Mox, in his hometown, walks out with his dad, which was kind of confusing because the way the commentator said it, it was like Wheeler Yuta was his father. It took me a second. Right.
Wheeler Yuta's everybody's daddy. What are you talking about?
But beats Adam Page, empty-headed Adam Page in Mox's hometown.
Jeez,
if that was WWE,
empty head right off of his empty shoulders.
I know, right? Had that been WWE, Mox would have lost for sure. So we had what else do we have? Charlotte Flair. This is such a filler throwaway feud. My God, with Sonya Deville. I mean, did you ever at any point in time think Charlotte was in danger of losing her title to Sonya Deville?
No, but it was an entertaining match. Sometimes it's not the destination, it's the journey. I like watching Sonya Deville work. I think she's gotten a lot better in recent years, both on the mic and in the ring.
Yeah.
Keep on going. Keep on growing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and then we already kind of covered the women elimination chamber qualifying match.
There we go.
Here we go. There we go.
Oh, so those Brock and Bobby aren't in there
yet. I think they will. I think those are your other two, right? Don't you think?
Bronson Reed. That's a bad man right there. Jonah Rock.
I tell you what, man. I'm not sold on this Gargano guy. Like, I just don't.
You need to watch more Black and Gold NXT. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do my homework today. I've been saying it for weeks. I'm actually gonna sit down and write down 5 Johnny Gargano matches you have to watch, so you understand how great this guy is.
All right, man. Like, I was bragging on him during the live stream for reaction of Royal Rumble. I was like, how is this 5 foot nothing dude still in there? I was like,
He
he was,
lasted a while. They
he
gave him a
did,
good
yeah, he was in
role.
there quite a bit. I was surprised. So even though we did bounce all over the place, I mean, we did cover everything because believe it or not, and this is one of my biggest complaints. You know, there was only three matches on SmackDown, 2-hour show, 3 matches. So,
Really?
yeah, it was.
Oh wait,
the
no,
tag
you
team.
had the Imperium.
That match.
Ricochet and Strowman. You had the Sonya and Charlotte. You had
the women's elimination chamber.
the women of the
match.
Fatal 4-Way.
And that was
had
it.
to have been another match. There had to have been a 4th match.
Not according to my notes, man. That's it.
No way.
One of my biggest complaints: there are more matches on an hour episode of Rampage than there are on a 2-hour episode of SmackDown. It blows my mind every time. All right, so is there any other WWE stuff you want to cover, Ryan or Johnny, before we switch gears to the old AEW?
Nothing off the top of my head, personally.
I'm
What about
King
you,
of Song
Johnny?
Style? King of Song Style? What do you think?
I'm good with the WWE news for the week.
All righty then.
I'm commenting in the chat right now.
Oh no, that's fine. Yes, please interact with the fine people in the chat. Well,
With the
I do
people.
have one. I do have one last bit of WWE related news before we get into AEW then, and that is starting next week. Not only are we going to be sponsored by the fine folks at Fuel Up, but we have now become an official WWE shop partner. So I will be launching. Yes, so starting a week from today. We'll be providing links and promo codes for you to get all the cool stuff you want at the WWE shop with discounted coupon codes from Dork Side of the Ring.
I will have to get myself some new shirts then.
Yeah. So
Maybe
I
get
thought
a
you guys
Johnny
would dig that.
Wrestling shirt.
I'm trying to get the same thing going with AEW, but apparently I just don't shill enough for them. They're just not taking me seriously enough, you know. That or AEW or WWE will work with anybody.
Pro Wrestling Tees.
Is that what it is?
I
don't
think
know.
they do all of their stuff through Pro Wrestling Tees.
I reached out to I sent an email to their what's it called, the marketing rep through that I found through their website, the AEW website. So maybe you're saying Pro Wrestling Tees would be the way to go. I'll check it out maybe.
Or just email Colt Cabana.
Don't
He runs it.
Yeah, man. That don't ever mention that man's
Don't
name
say you're
on
a
my
CM
show.
Punk fan.
Well, here's the thing, man. That's why I kind of almost want to like pass the reins to you. I'm falling out of love with AEW. You know, AEW is what brought me back into wrestling. You know, three years ago. You know, because
But they have the greatest
Dude.
champion in pro wrestling right now.
I'm
He's
starting
doing
Doesn't really have the energy that it
I'm-
once had when it started, did it?
No, yeah, and well, first of all, as a huge CM Punk fan, if they don't turn this whole debacle when he's healed into an angle, I probably, if I make it that long, I'll probably be over it. But I've been finding myself just watching Simon Miller's ups and downs for Rampage, you know, like totally skipping it, and you know, not watching. I used to watch. You can ask Joe. Well, I mean, he's not here, so you can't ask him now. But you know, Joe does a live stream on Wednesday, and I used to dip out as soon as 5 o'clock my time hit. I would dip out to watch Dynamite live. Now I've been watching Dynamite like the next day. You know, it's just not must see for me anymore for some reason. But that said, do you want to take the reins, Johnny, or do you want me to just give the bullet points? You know,
No,
the first
I mean,
match was
I'll lump a little bit of last week's episode in with this week, just because I don't think I really got to touch on it very much during last week's show.
Yeah, we didn't really talk any AEW last week, I don't think.
It was mostly Rumble dominated, but
yeah,
kudos to Warner Brothers Discovery for reversing their position on the Briscoes. It was bittersweet to see Mark Briscoe on national broadcast television. As a longtime Ring of Honor fan, somebody who watched their work for 20 years almost, to see. It's a shame Jay couldn't be here with us to get that spotlight as well. But the fact that they gave Mark that honor, like, to just be on a national TV show for the first time in his life and have a main event do what the Briscoes have been doing for so long.
Yeah,
it was a hell of a match for Jay.
It was a great match. Yeah, and it was I don't know, because I'm a mama's boy. I'm kind of a sap. I'm an emotional guy. It really got me when Jay Lethal came out there, and like he was just taking it in, and it looked like he was either crying or about to cry. And this is before the match. It was. I love seeing the honest, raw emotion from performers. It doesn't always have to be about like a feud or a story, or like even though Jay Lethal's a bad guy, it doesn't always have to be a bad guy versus a good guy, or go ahead, John.
I watched the Ring of Honor tribute show that they did, that they filmed after
it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube, and it was just hearing some of the testimonies from those guys, and God, Eddie Kingston just hit me right here, But that man's the realest promo in wrestling.
Oh yeah, that and I bet you he's a mama's boy too. He really he
oh come on,
I like that guy.
He's from New York. I mean, he's from any of us Northeastern boys love our mamas.
I know, right?
Get me talking about mama, I'll get all choked up.
Right. I love you,
Mom. If you ever watch this, I love you.
All right, so this week's show, or did you want to go over any more of last week, or?
John? Well, going back to what I was saying about the whole WWE doesn't let people win in their hometowns.
Yeah.
AEW does, but then they take it away because it's better booking that way. So I was shocked that they took the TNT title off of Samoa Joe a few weeks ago and gave it to Darby Allin.
You're getting to the main
then
event.
Again, it was in Seattle, and Darby's from Seattle.
Yeah.
So they gave Darby the hometown win, and I thought it was going to be like a 1 week turnaround. It would go back to Joe the following week. I always knew it was going back to Joe. That whole TV gimmick is too good to just abandon. Having him hold the Ring of Honor TV title and the AEW TV title was great, because Joe was making just solid gold promos out of that.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I always knew the title was going back to Joe eventually. I did like that they gave Darby like a good mini run with it, where he defended it every single week.
Well, he did that before. When he had it
but
before.
Joe's just a monster heel, and I love it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, so we bounced around with WWE. We can do that with AEW. Well, let's go ahead and talk about that match. Holy shit, that was a brutal match.
Right?
He did that thing where he pulling up the was it called, the canvas or whatever, and exposing.
No. To me, the spot that got me was the thumbtack hoodie.
Yeah.
When he had Darby's face in it, and Darby so my biggest fear in this world, I'm gonna just tip my cap here. My biggest fear in this world is eye trauma. I am a horror movie junkie, but the one thing that always I never get scared of anything.
You mean you can't do this?
Unless you keep that evil away from me.
My goodness, man, what are you doing?
Put that evil on me. Eye trauma has always just really screwed me, because my biggest fear in this world is being blind.
Mine's death by fire, but okay, everybody's got theirs.
Yeah, but it's a quick death at least. I mean,
no, it's not. Burning to death is not. No.
At least you'll be warm and toasty the rest of your life.
Oh my God, you're just terrible. So anyway, back to what other spots got you? Ryan, did you get to see this match that we're talking about?
No, but I did hear a good bit about it, and one hell of a shocker, if you ask me, especially with those damn tacks. I've never been a fan of that sort of hardcore ECW-esque brutality, but it draws people in.
Well, AEW does a ton of it. Whether they call it this was called a no holds barred match, or
it's just no holds barred,
or they have a bunch of different names for essentially the same match. I thought it was a good match.
The feud wasn't big enough to call it a lights out match.
Right. Yeah. Right. I think the right call. I think the right person won. I liked how, even though Darby lost, the way that he lost and just the sheer brutality of the match, I still think he's safe. You know, I think he's good. You know, it didn't hurt him any. I don't think. What do you think about that? Because I've heard a lot of people say that they think that they're burying Darby, and I don't see that at all.
I don't think they're doing. I think they were taking the TNT title off of Darby so he could focus on, because this is Sting's last run. This is Sting's last hurrah. And like Sting's already been very vocal about hanging up the boots this year for good.
Yeah.
And I think they kind of want to take the title off of Darby so they can transition him into a final program with Sting where they're teaming together or even facing each other. Maybe Darby turns on Sting. Maybe Sting says, "All right, boy, show me what you learned."
Yeah, either one of those works. It just depends. I don't know how Darby, just because, and I hate to shit on these small wrestlers unless your name's Gargano. I don't see how he could be an effective heel, really. You know what I mean? Like, he just seems like he's that, you know, he's a weirdo and stuff. He's like, he just looks like an underdog, and you just kind of want to cheer for him. What do you think? I could be totally wrong.
I can't see him as a heel either, but I've never seen him as a heel. Some people surprise you as a heel. Like, I remember when R-Truth went heel, I'm like, oh, this will never work. But it got over for me.
Yeah.
And we got little Jimmy out of that. Like, when he was crazy, insane, like unhinged R-Truth, and like smoking at ringside. Like, I thought that was the craziest spot. Because, wow, you got a guy literally smoking cigarettes on national TV, which a lot of people don't realize. They kind of phase that out of like sitcoms. And, you know, I was trying to think of the last time I saw somebody actually smoking a cigarette on broadcast TV, and it was probably the X-Files.
Yeah.
It was probably Smoking Man and X-Files as you light up.
No, I'm not.
Cancer stick.
I'm just kidding. I was just like, I mean, I might. Who knows? I don't want to. It's like probably a violation of YouTube.
You know, CC watches this. She'll kill you for smoking in the house.
Yeah. So I can't. Anyway.
So I would like to point out that if Darby Allin were to be a heel, he would have to be completely ruthless. He would have to be without mercy. He would have to go all out in order to convince people that he is a heel. He's a very durable wrestler, but he has to pull out all the stops to be convincing, in my view.
I fully agree with you there, Robert.
I could see that. I could see that. Right. Anyway, so all right. So since we're gonna jump around, let's go into another title, the TBS Championship. Jade Cargill versus Red Velvet. Not only the title on the line, but her streak. They kept saying if she wins, she'll be 50-0. There was no chance in hell she wasn't going to win. What did you think? I wasn't a fan of the match, but what did you think of, you know, the build up going in, because it is, you know, the Red Velvet thing and with the match itself and then the aftermath.
I knew once they announced Red Velvet, I was like, oh, she ain't losing yet.
Yeah.
Red Velvet is not the one to take that crown.
Yeah. I'm not sure who is, because I don't know, man. Cargill's like, she's basically, they're just doing the Bill Goldberg playbook, but with the chick, you know, and it's kind of working. I don't know, but this
real
match
quick,
wasn't. Yeah.
I need to apologize to Ryan because I totally just called him Robert, and I apologize. it was a total slip, man.
Perfectly fine, my good man.
I didn't want to just bury you like
of
that,
bloopers,
so. I didn't want to bury you like that. I apologize.
There you go. So we got the name back up there, so you don't forget next time, and we'll throw that banner back up in a little bit. Okay, so there's nothing really much to talk about on that match. We also had the Acclaimed segment. Again, guys, we're going way out of order. Doesn't matter. What do you think of this segment? You think? Because like, I don't know. I feel like, is Billy Gunn going to turn on the Acclaimed? Is that what's happening here? I was like, oh, like what? Like,
I never thought I'd be as invested in this Acclaimed and Ass Boys feud as I find myself.
I know, right?
God, I hate the Guns, and they're so punchable.
Yeah, right.
But
I
they
feel
have
like-
faces that make me, if I saw them on the street, I would be like, these guys will probably kick my ass and stretch for me, but I gotta punch them in the face. They got punchable faces.
Oh hell yeah! But not only
Both
that,
of
they're
them.
just such assholes. Why don't you go drown your sorrows at the bottom of a bottle of pills, Dad? I was like, oh my god, no, you did not just go there. But I think this is going to be a huge swerve, misdirect, because you saw how the Acclaim reacted to, because after the kid said that, the ass boy said that, Billy Gunn gets in the ring, gets in their face, and he's like, you know what? Fine, you got it. You know, you got your title shot.
Right.
And the Acclaim's like, what? What?
Well, it's like
So-
Billy Gunn's been doing a lot of that lately. Like a few weeks ago, it was like he interjected himself in between those two and the teams, and he's all like, "Yeah, we're gonna settle this. We're gonna settle this in therapy." Like what? What?
Family therapy.
Family therapy.
I got 2 words for you: family therapy. It's like, come on, man.
God.
And then
You know, I don't
what
wanna
else was there?
I don't want to criticize Billy Gunn's parenting skills, but he should have really told Colton to not get an armpit tattoo.
Yeah,
This is the weirdest looking tattoo I've ever seen.
it is, right? It is weird. All right, so that was a fun segment, but I do think ultimately Billy Gunn's gonna cost the Acclaim the tag titles. He's gonna turn on them.
You think
And
Daddy Ass is gonna say no to all them T-shirts?
I think I mean, he probably doesn't want to, but the way Tony Khan books
He's
and all
making
the
mad T-shirt money though.
I mean, I know, man, but the way Tony Khan books, I can totally see Billy Gunn screwing over the Acclaim to get his boys their first tag titles, and then running with them, and then we get the baby faces chasing for the titles again.
I just
Whatever
don't
gets
see,
the most hype, that's what they'll go for.
I don't see the Ass Boys as champions though.
Oh, I don't either. That's what makes them such good chicken shit heel champions. And then they could start doing the stuff because they love Shawn Michaels. Okay, so just hear me out here. So remember when in the early 90s when Shawn Michaels was Intercontinental Champion and he would purposely get himself disqualified, or he would just take his belt and walk off and get counted out. And he'd do that shit all the time. I haven't seen a heel do that in forever. Yeah, I haven't seen a heel champion do that kind of thing in a while, and I kind of miss it because it makes you hate him even more. You know what I mean?
You realize that's MJF, right? You haven't seen a heel champion do that. That's MJF, right, man? Right there,
has he done it yet, though? The dude won't even wrestle. Doesn't even wrestle.
Paying people to injure his opponents. I love it. I love it. I just.
I
love
think
MJF.
I'm starting. I used to like MJF, but now I'm starting to think maybe he's a little overrated. I don't know. I need to,
Not at all. He's the final boss, and they're treating him like the final boss.
Gomer Kyle, welcome to the chat. He says, "Scissor me, Dad." Yes, there we go. You got your scissor. All right, so let's continue with Kenos. What is his name?
Takeshita?
Yeah, right. That's what it looks like. He finally got a win. I think this was his first win, wasn't it? At least on television, on network television. I've been seeing him lose.
How does he get rewarded for that? A feud with the final boss with MJF.
Hey, possibly. And then we had Bryan Danielson versus Timothy Thatcher. When did Thatcher join AEW? I thought
he didn't. It's a forbidden door. Thatcher signed a Noah right now in Japan.
So when did he leave NXT?
He quietly exited. I don't think he got fired or released. I think his contract was up and he just chose not to renew. Thatcher was a really quiet exit, like Cesaro was. Now Claudio Castagnoli.
Yeah. And Gomer Kyle, you damn right. MJF is no Roman Reigns because there's only one head of the table. There's only one tribal chief. And I acknowledge
but MJF is better than Gomer Kyle, and Gomer Kyle knows it.
Oh God. Anyway, don't insult our viewers, man. They're why we're here. So that was all of Dynamite. I'm gonna be honest, man. I'll have to look it up or hand you the reins. I don't even. I just watch the ups and downs. And
to me, though, you hit on all the high points. The There was a.
I'm talking about
Kenny
Rampage. I
Omega
don't remember.
trying to be Mr. Perfect. Basketball court.
That was
promo.
that was one of the. Oh, that was funny. The Mr. Perfect. He showed that clip on the ups and downs. That was one of the Hardly Boys, though, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. It was Nick Jackson that made the basket.
Okay.
But Mr. Perfect would have done it behind his back, and
oh yeah. From the other side of the court, not just the 3-point.
Of course.
Yeah. That was totally that totally was a perfect homage, right? There's no way they weren't thinking about how similar to the Mr. Perfect vignette that was, right?
You know what? The ultimate homage was if they recreate the football vignette when Mr. Perfect threw a touchdown to himself.
Yeah.
Pure 80s wrestling bullshit.
If they were going to do that, they would have done that.
I think
they
I
would
was
have done
maybe
that on the
10 years old. I saw that.
Yeah, they would have done that on the Stadium Stampede if they were going to do that. Okay, so I pulled it up. I remember now. Again, didn't watch it. I watched the ups and downs, which is a great recap show. We were mostly just kind of talking. I tried to do the whole recap thing the first couple of weeks, and just we're running out of time. It wasn't really, it's just.
Well, you don't have to hit on every little thing that happened.
Yeah. So, this one had the Elite with their trio titles going against Ethan Page, Matt Hardy, and Isaiah Cassidy. Are we getting broken Matt Hardy back? Is that what's happening
I hope
here?
So, because this Ethan Page's bitch, Matt Hardy, I really don't like.
Yeah, it seems like they're breaking him down. So I think I don't know. They're just
maybe Brother Nero will come to save him.
Well, it depends. Is he out of rehab yet?
Will return.
Yeah, maybe. So Saraya and Tony Storm, they're just totally ripping off the Outsiders at this point in time. And the fact that Ruby Soho felt the need to go address Britt Baker and the what's the champ's name right now?
Jamie Hayter.
Hayter, thank you. That I had nothing to do with this. I don't know. Is she the Hulk Hogan in their NWO? Is what happened in here? These are the 3 chicks from WWE. And we're getting like a double turn here. So now Britt's faction's about to be babyface. And
I'm surprised they're not babyface already. I mean, I know they do heelish things, but Jamie Hayter is over like Rover.
Yeah.
Like she gets.
And
the amount of groundswell support that Jamie Hayter has, it just came out of nowhere for me. I mean, granted, the work speaks for itself. She's a hell of a champion. But I remember, she was supposed to be the heel in the Tony Storm match, and Tony Storm's damn near getting booed out of the building.
I think it's I think they called an audible. I don't think they originally wanted to make Tony and Saraya heels. But when you got Saraya coming out talking about I'm from the big leagues. I'm here to run this shit. I mean, when she's talking like a heel, and the crowd starts booing her. And it's just So they just leaned into it, and they really are. They're giving me you've got Saraya, Scott Hall, and Tony Storm as Kevin Nash vibes. They're giving me the female version of the Outsiders type of vibes.
No, and I can see it.
Yeah. So anyway, they beat up some jobbers, the same jobbers that got beat up the previous week by was it Britt and Jamie? I think they look like the female version of the Rockers or something. I don't know. Then see again,
who were those dudes who fought the Acclaimed? Man, those guys were some.
Oh my God, that was so funny. His rap, he called him
middle-aged, and I looked at him.
No, he said
damn, these guys do look like shit.
He said the Bush League Beverly Brothers or something like that. He made it was funny. So
Where
yeah,
did those
Gomer
guys
Kyle.
come from? I'm like, wow, what indie promotion crap you guys out? You guys are the worst.
Gomer Kyle did make a good point in the chat, and that is Brother Nero. He needs to save himself first before he can come back. And I haven't heard anything new on that. And as somebody who struggled with, I've been very public about my struggles with alcohol addiction. It's hard, man, and it's hard, and I feel for him. So I hope I just want him to get his health back on track, and he can't. We might. Who knows if we'll ever see Jeff again, because maybe he just can't handle the temptation of being on the road, and being around the alcohol, And I don't know if it's drugs and alcohol in his case, but I definitely know the alcohol was a problem. And I have so much respect for Moxley, who was like, "Look, I got to go, or I'm going to die." And he was gone for like 3-4 months, taking care of himself, and
not only that, I mean, like with Moxley completely uprooted his life because
he left Vegas and he's back in Ohio.
He and Renee lived here in Vegas.
I actually would run into him at Target
just because this town is not good for alcoholics.
It's not. That's why I'm, if CC gets this job promotion, we're going to be moving because nearly 14 years in Vegas, and I've been to rehab at least 2 times more than I'd care to have been.
It's the city of sin for a reason, folks.
Yeah, that's what my mom brings up all the time. But I think this is going to lead back to the Jeff Hardy thing. I think this is going to go back to Broken Matt is where I think this is going to lead, because him being all egos bitch is just not working for me. Then what else do we have? We had Swerve Strickland beat the shit out of Brian Pillman Jr. So bad that Dustin Rhodes had to come out at the end, pick up the pieces.
I do like Swerve's war on second generation stars. I think that's good. It's very legend killer of him.
And okay, so in our show, same number of matches as SmackDown, four matches. That's why the highlights and the clips I saw were enough for me, because I give no shits at all about Roosh versus Christopher Daniels. Where the hell did that come from, and why? I mean,
that should be a Ring of Honor match. That is not an AEW match.
That's I don't even know who won that match. Let me see. Oh, Roosh, of course. So I don't know, man. I'm falling out of love with AEW. I tell you what, I really wish that video hadn't crapped out, because it would have been perfect, because we've got I don't know, about 10 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes left. Somebody in the back let me know exactly, and I think we had about 7 to 8 minutes of his video left, because if you want to keep talking about AEW, you fresh the out of luck with me.
Well, I'd like to kind of give my thoughts on Lanny Poffo's passing.
Please. Okay, super.
I learned a lot of Lanny Poffo's career through documentaries and archival footage, because the only time I ever got to see Lanny Poffo live was when he was the Genius in WWE. Yes. And that was when I started really liking heels. And I say, even though I'm a big Roddy Piper fan and I'm a big Macho Man fan, the Genius Lanny Poffo is the first heel that I was like, this guy speaks to me. I like it. Everybody hates him. And then he beat Hulk Hogan by count out, but he still beat Hulk Hogan. And this was in an era when nobody beat Hogan.
And in rare form, I saw an interview where Lanny said that was Hogan's idea, that Hogan wanted to do that for him.
I bet it was.
Like, wow.
But then again, coming from Hogan, take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah. Apparently, according to Hulk Hogan is the most generous man in professional wrestling.
That clip. I need this. That clip from Spider-Man where J. Jonah Jameson just like laughing when Peter Parker asks him for an advance.
It's actually one of my favorite reactions. That's
my reaction to
a big old basket of meat. Talk about perfectly cast for the role. Give it up to J.K. Simmons.
Oh yeah, man.
I'm so glad that he was the one thing they salvaged from the other Spider-Man iterations. When he showed up in, what was it, Far From Home, And I was like, yes. Because I thought he was the best part of the Raimi movies. I mean, I love the Raimi movies, but he was the cherry on top.
Oh yeah.
To me, there's only one man who can ever play that role, and that's J.K. Simmons.
Well, we've only got about 3-4 minutes left. If you wanted to continue with any other words regarding Lanny Poffo.
I mean, the Poffo family is, like Cody Rhodes says it best, wrestling is more than one royal family. And if you look back at the lineage of Angelo Poffo and then his two sons, Lanny and Randy, I mean, yeah, Randy got all the attention because Randy was just a one of a kind charisma. Like,
and the cream always rises to the top.
I mean,
and I am the cream of the crop.
Controlled chaos.
Yeah.
But don't ever sleep on Lanny. And the fact that Randy always when Randy was alive, he never wanted to go into the Hall of Fame unless Lanny was with him. He wouldn't even sign his WWE contract unless he could bring Lanny along with him. And some people kind of took that as Lanny was like riding Randy's coattails, but that was never the case. Randy was just saying like, hey, you need to look at my brother. He's just as good, if not better than me at some things. He is also a great addition to your product. And he always put his brother over. And I think that's just
hell of a writer too. He wrote a song honoring Mr. Perfect for that's on that album, that infamous album, Macho Man, the rap album.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Lanny wrote, yeah. Because Randy originally asked him to write the song about Hogan, and Lanny said, no, I will not disparage Hulk Hogan. I've got nothing but good things to say about Hulk Hogan. That man made my career. He single-handedly is responsible for the biggest paycheck I ever got in my life. He's like, I won't do it. He's like, but I miss and love Mr. Perfect, and I'll write the Perfect Friend song for you. And so he did that, and I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, definitely R.I.P. to Lanny Poffo.
Definitely.
And you know what's so crazy to me is I watched the Click This podcast with Kevin Nash, and the show that he released the week before Lanny died. They were showing a bunch of pictures from his Instagram feed because apparently Lanny moved away to some other country to retire. But it was like every other picture was of him with super hot women. And so they were just showing all of these pictures. And then the next week he died. And I almost hope he went out on his back just like in wrestling, but with one of those beautiful women on top, causing a heart attack. Because I can't think of a better way to go, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, that has been this week's episode of Dork Side of the Ring. Thank you all so much, and we will see you next week.